Hi, folks. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Collective Breath, which is produced by Bruca Theater of the Sierra in Reno, Nevada, and in collaboration with Spoken Views Collective, also of Reno, Nevada. This is the week of Sunday, October 11th, 2020, and this is episode 14. Show me a man or a woman alone, and I'll show you a saint. Give me two, and they'll fall in love. Give me three, and they'll invent the charming thing we call society. Give me four, and they'll build a pyramid. Give me five, and they'll make one an outcast. Give me six, and they'll reinvent prejudice. Give me seven, and in 7 years they'll reinvent warfare. Man may have been made in the image of God, but human society was made in the image of his opposite number, and is always trying to get back home. Stephen King. The Stand. As society grows in numbers, its members find themselves in increasing opposition and conflict with each other. This is either due to a perception of limited resources, benefits, rewards, or power, resulting in the individuals or groups possessing such entities increasing their willingness to defend such assets with extreme prejudice. In the face of overconsumption of such resources and assets, as though such assets are limitless, the opposition will come from an outside agency, such as a different school, a different military, country, or population group entirely. That's what we're absorbing this week, the concept of taking sides. A transcript of this segment and each subsequent session will be posted for anyone interested at www.sideways8.co, which is my main outlet for personal poetry and photography Sideways 8 projects. Hello, fantastic people. My name is Jesse James Sigler. I'm the current poet in residence of the Bruca Theater of the Sierra in Reno, Nevada. I am an active poet, special event MC, principal photographer, special event host, and now weekly wellness writing workshop host in collaboration with Spoken Views Collective, of which I am also a board member. This week's writing prompt: write on the concept of taking sides. Thank you to everyone who's logging in to watch. Taya, Irma, Terry, Christina, thank you very much. I wanted this podcast-style personal portion to contain information about famous writers and their quotes, as well as futuristically speaking local guests to this program who help everyone involved gain a diversity of perspective and positively impact our individual process. We have a lot of quotes of the week that inspired me this week in my writing on the topic and the concept of taking sides. We have 7 of them, so I'm going to get right to it. Nobody ever started a fight because they thought they were wrong. Think about it. We're all so sure of ourselves that we can't even have an honest conversation. Instead, we babble bass-ackwards agendas and cling to ill-conceived notions. Our heads are so far up our own that we assume we are the hero of the story. Even when we are up to our necks in it, we never bother asking what the awful smell is. The thing is, everyone can't be right. That's not a thing. But nobody wants to back down. So instead, you get a line in the sand and people taking sides. Brian Buccellato, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 3, the complete collection. Strong communities are born out of individuals being their best selves. Lene Simpson. Respect the dead, but take the side of the living. Marty Rubin. A gentle person understands that it's better not to take sides. If a gentle person decides on taking sides, then they shall both take both sides, for they have a 50% chance of winning and a 50% chance of not losing. Anas Amshari, businessman with an affliction. A bridge has no allegiance to either side. Les Coleman. There are no independent people. Even when you are standing aside, you are taking a side. Lyupta Sevetanova, The New Land. And finally, the quote that made me think of this topic to begin with, in addition to my friend Ian: we must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. Elie Wiesel. I'm hoping this sharing and vulnerability I'm demonstrating will encourage others who love creative writing as well to open up by sharing from their innermost related to the topic provided. I'm hoping we all gain perspective, compassion, hope, and discipline through such organized sharing. We have 4 pieces of the week that I was inspired to write this particular week with regards to the concept and the issue and the writing prompt of taking sides. I'm going to get right to it. The first one is entitled This and That. Thank you as well to Yvonne for joining in. Left versus right politically. Left versus right regarding dominant hand. Abstract thought versus thinking critically, pushing to demand or trying to understand. Division, conflict, separation, and side taking a stance versus kneeling down. Extreme humility over overt pride, a country boy or a man about town. Positive and negative with red versus blue, uncomfortable silence versus chaotic chatter. Sex equals gender versus what pronouns are you, deciding if black and blue lives both matter. Yankees and Red Sox, Dodgers and Giants, north versus south and east versus west. Specialists, relationships with clients, having indoor or outdoor wedding guests. Odd or even, large or small, rich or poor, being shaved bald or having long hair. To hold open or not hold open the door while wearing boxer or briefs underwear. Short and tall, skinny or fat, old versus young, black and white or a color printing. Honest or liar, guilty or innocent, jailed or hung, blurting it out versus subtle hinting. Checkers and chess, Candyland versus Risk, tourist versus native to land, large stir spoon or a smooth-handled whisk. In the kitchen, do you sit or stand? Introverts, extroverts, carpet versus hardwood, the sleeping sheeple against the woke, angels and demons, light and dark, evil and good, all casting shadows over the filthy rich and completely broke. Apples and oranges, white and wheat on a sandwich that's hot or cold. Think marching to a different drum suite, or how about remaining in the fold? Liberals and conservatives, Dems versus reps, landlocked versus coastal towns, riding the elevator versus getting in steps in both casual and planes versus trains, cars versus bikes, being whole alone or needing someone to complete, canceling or unfriending versus follows and likes, all from an aisle or a window seat. We make choices daily, different as night and day, as different as autumn or spring, as different as pencil and pen. Being on a path versus knowing the way, floating like a butterfly to deliver the bee sting, while at a loss or knowing what to say, either giving up or going at it again. We take sides in family matters and sports matters and historical matters and which future is the best course. We take sides in Ford versus Chevy, and even more so when it comes to divorce. Empire versus resistance, contemporary and classic set, acquiescence versus persistence, while predator and prey both say they forget. The duality is unending. The tears are not mending. The only way to win the game is to step out of this cycle of play. For when we take sides, the powers that be make strides, intending to divide and conquer away. That was This and That, the text of which is also available on www.sideways8.co. Sideways 8 Projects, my personal website. The second piece I have to share as an original piece this week, the week of Sunday, October 11th, 2020, for episode 14, the writing prompt of which is Taking Sides. The title of the second piece is Tightrope. It is said that you can walk the line, while others shout, which side of it are you on? Are you laying in the gutter, looking up at the vine, or in ivory towers, feeling already gone? Our safety nets extend so far. Their webbing may miss a fall. In this circus we find ourselves in, just as a tattoo is a well-intentioned scar, and we can learn to answer the call. Sustainability and permanence are the win. So keep one foot in front of the other, and eyes on the prize as you walk. These lines we trod are between sisters and brothers. If broken, they may outwin us all in chalk. Once again, that was Tightrope. The third piece to share this week of original poetry from the source of me, Jesse James Ziegler, is Lines in the Sand with regards to the issue, concept, and writing prompt of Taking Sides. Lines in the sand, vines in my hand, swinging from side to side. The grind is demand, my mind and my plans cannot always cross the divide. This gap, this chasm, this ravine in between has eyes of its own to see what I mean when I say there's relentless pressure to measure ourselves by the boxes in which we place ourselves, rather the boxes into which we are placed. So some stay 6 feet away to keep from being 6 feet under. Fear of being displaced or disgraced, sketching lines in this world of wonder. The bridge among us are connected to both sides, leading constant and needing constant repair in their center. And constant watch for those who wish to jump if we wish to heal the divides with authentic, lasting care. It will take incentive in the form of growth to the other side of this slump, of this hump, of this speed bump, keeping us from being us. That was Lines in the Sand, the third of 4 pieces this week on Collective Breath. And finally, the fourth original piece this week is Rhythm of the Night, where rhythm is spelled R-I-T-H-M. The algorithms encourage echo chambers, while they discourage critically free thought. The edges of the net so wide and far spread we don't even realize we're caught. Each one an isolated island in a sea of torment, casting bottles filled with exclamatory remarks, hoping those who find them will find out from which shore sent and pay them forward by striking sparks. The sea is rising around us, the waves lap and lick at our core. The layers of misinformation confound us, and still we sign up for more. To the brave souls daring to dream, daring to cut the entrapment of our nets, we're building a new inclusive team of sustainable flow and lack of regrets. This team will not deal in fractions of humanity, nor will it get ahead and win at any cost. For if lies and abuse sacrifice our sanity, then in the end, we've already lost. That was Rhythm of the Night. Next week's writing prompt, which will also be posted across Collective Breath and Baruka Theater of the Sierra social media platforms, right on the concept of how our thoughts determine our lives. For more information on the topic of taking sides, and for further reading on your own, I would recommend, for in-depth reading along your individual path of further and additional study, any of the following 3 texts. Taking Sides, Clashing Views on Educational Issues by Glenn Kuntz. Nonsense, The Power of Not Knowing by Janie Holmes. And finally, The Elephant in the Brain, Hidden Motives in Everyday Life by Kevin Simler and Robin Hanson. That we may. These days no longer agree with us. They are finding a course of their own. Desperate for a renewal of their livelihood, casting away previous worries, they are set on a path to prevent our demise in order that we may fill that hope with promise. That's it for my personal portion. If this is where you get off of this train of thought because you checked in simply to listen, thank you for tuning in and absorbing. I appreciate your time and your consideration. If you were here for the weekly wellness writing workshop group portion via Zoom meeting, which is immediately to follow this portion, please transition to that application now using the link provided in the details description section of the Collective Breath Baruka Theater of the Sierra Facebook event page. The link is also in the bio section of the Collective Breath Instagram page at Biggest Little Collective Breath. Keep writing. Keep your heart open and your mind aware. Keep coming back for more. Keep going. Keep giving. Keep doing. Keep believing in a better way of living. Keep loving and creating. Keep each other safe and sound. Keep it real and keep the faith. I love you.